Welcome into Inside Tiger Football, brought to you by Rib Crib. Dylan Rivera here, and Coach Hill sitting across from me after 2 games down already this season. My first question to you, you talked to me and Mo in the pregame, and you mentioned it in the postgame about a success could be learning something against Fayetteville and staying healthy against Fayetteville. Did you do those 2 things?
We did those 2 things. We're a healthy football team walking out of there, and that's always rewarding. Non-districts every week, those are prayers before the game, much less after the game. But and we got better. So no doubt about it, we accomplished those 2 things, Dylan.
As far as your learning process go, what did you learn about your team this past Friday?
Reinforcement. Reinforcement being that always don't worry about the other team, worry about yourself. We worked all week long on passing what we referred to as a stress test, the way they would go about their offense. If we can rehash a little bit about Fayetteville, how they played defensively, the environment we were going to be in. I thought we handled all that well, but the reinforcement side of it was, to me, is we still make our own personal mistakes that weren't caused by necessarily Fayetteville or Fayetteville's football team. So just a reinforcement to me that's what we got to continue to work on as ourselves.
The game itself goes down to the wire. It's a really close ball game, overtime finish, and they get a miraculous touchdown and then a 2-point conversion. That's a tough way to lose. What were the emotions like post-game? How did you feel? How did the team feel?
That's the thing you worry about a little bit, because fought hard, had expectations, they did, to go win the football game. And when you come out a little short, how does that develop or undevelop a team that you're trying to make sure that everything's going the right direction? Chemistry, the little things, the things that are really hard for sometimes the fan to understand what all goes on behind the scenes. They handled it excellent. We will never know, Dylan. Time will tell us whether that was a great learning experience. Some of the things I just referred to before we got into this subject of how's it going to help or not help.
Yep.
Right now, I see it nothing but a benefit. Human nature. We learn more when we lose than when we do when we win. So hopefully that's the case. But right now, the personality of the football team and the attitude of the football team is very positive.
When we had talked last week prior to the game, I caught up with you at practice for just a couple minutes. You had said that you weren't too pleased with the way that they were practicing and going through the film room after that first week, right? They had won against Springdale Harbor, and it felt like maybe to you that they had taken their foot off the gas a little bit. Do you feel like this is a team that maybe just when the lights come on, they step into it and they'll play big, or is it a team that maybe just had a rough week in practice last week?
Irrelevant. We can't be fooled into that. We're going to play and we're going to push the button on Friday night. That's fool's gold. You may have special individuals that can do that, but as a team, you got to prepare to win daily. Okay, not just we'll turn it on Friday night. So we've already we're midway through the week. Today's practice will be as important, the most important one, I believe. It always is. Midweek, Wednesday, hump day, whatever you want to call it. So we will be able to evaluate that. But I can tell you, we were in tune Monday and Tuesday with what our details were. Tuesday's always a little sloppy. You introduce stuff on a Monday, typical work week. Everybody's a little different, okay? So Tuesday's your first time to go out and go live with it. And by Tuesday evening, as a coach, you're saying, okay, good, delete. So that's the reason why I say Wednesday's practice will be so good. So, but as far as their attitudes and their direction and their work ethic, back to true September weather now, back in the mid-80s and a little warm out there. Their work ethic was good and their concentration was good. I'm
glad you bring in this week's practice because I had talked to Keenan Reed for a moment, and he said the amount of focus that they have this week is a complete 180 from where they were at last week. And maybe that's just at least in the DB room, but he feels like that kind of woke something up with this team. Do you feel that same way?
Well, like I said, it's kind of what we were referring to earlier. I hope so. I mean, that's the idea. If we got to get punched in the mouth and lose a football game, that it better come out as an asset somewhere down the line. Right. So I do. I feel like that we understand that we can't beat ourselves. We're not that good. Nobody's that good, okay? Especially when you start getting in tight games. You know, what the Fayetteville game does for us and puts us in perspective, that's like a semifinal football game. That's the reason why all the good teams make sure they play a reasonable, tough non-district schedule because of that purpose. You want to win them, no doubt about it. You kind of game one's the one I hate the worst because you just don't know what's going to happen with special teams. But after that, you really want that test to make sure that you're ready for that. That if that's where your team's goals are and expectations are to be there, if we can kind of get a taste of that beforehand, that's a nice deal. So I think we got a small taste of it, and we didn't come out on a good end of the stick, but we all realized, hey, we can do this, but we better take care of ourselves. So I do think that our focus and what our details, little things, wow, they take place off the field too. Yes, they do, are getting better day by day and week by week. And I think they understand the seriousness of this idiot, okay, that's going to make it happen one way or another, whether we do with you or without you. And that's not a negative thing. That's just any team concept. We got our expectations. We've set the what we call the non-negotiables, and they're working on them. And we don't force feed that. You don't be mean to a kid about that. You just say, hey, man, here it is. And you put that in front of them. And the guys that you can depend on and they're going to win football games, they respond to that. So we are responding. So that is a positive deal.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to breaking it all down with you. We got the offensive segment coming up next, and we'll break down the defense after that. Still a lot of Inside Tiger football to come. Keep it right here.
While you are teaching someone special the nuances of keeping the wheel steady, we can provide you means for you to maintain financial equilibrium. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. First people put people first.
All in all, there's not a better place to work.
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
It's very fulfilling.
The work that we do is hard. The work that we do changes people's lives.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job. It's a calling.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib. Dylan Rivera here with Coach Travis Hill sitting across from me. We're going to dive into the weeds on the Fayetteville loss. Goes to overtime, tough ball game, but one guy that really stuck out to us, and we named him our difference maker of the game, was Octavian Roberson. Yep. Got to be pleased with his burst that came out in the late second half and then early in that third quarter as well, right?
Absolutely. It was fun to watch Octavian take over as far as our ground game. Outstanding ability, young man we're just excited about. We call him a home run hitter. We just needed one little more home run out of him, but had a wonderful game. I forget the stats, but I want to say 120 yards rushing.
Yeah, 123 if I remember right.
So yeah. I'm close to it, right at it. Well over 6 yards a carry. You can't ask for more than that. And like I said, we weren't making a difference run the football the first half. But the second half, we definitely put them on their heels with us being able to rush the football.
Yeah, and you also had to work in Grayson Betts a little bit there, and he had 3 carries, just a limited amount, but I thought he looked impressive in his 3 carries.
You know, little sophomore, not the biggest cat in the world, but man, the more and more touches that he has in practice, games, even in the JV situation, the more and more we are impressed with Grayson Betts. We think he is definitely a great back for us and just a wonderful young man, and effort and practice and all those things we talked about there, taking everything off the field seriously. He's doing a good job for us. Yeah.
Anytime you credit the running backs, I feel like it's appropriate to credit the offensive line. Did you like the push that they were able to get and create
the second
goals for
half,
those guys?
No doubt about it. We settled in and we're able to dictate a few things to them, and the offensive line took advantage of that. And so, I was very happy with them, especially the second half. And, we got a rotation going on in there somewhat. And I think that's for one, it's keeping people on their toes. And, anytime you're working, keep your job, you usually have to work a little harder. But not only that, but I think it's kind of good for us early in the year, too. It not only keeps us on our toes, it keeps us fresh in the game. And I think we saw that as the game went on. we were starting to control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football.
You said early in the year there, that was my follow-up question, was
Yeah.
is that something we're going to see throughout the rest of the season?
It's a week-by-week, Dylan. I mean, it's just what we, it's who's playing the best on a daily basis, consistency, those type of things. So I don't think we want rotation. That's not what we're looking for necessarily. But, if it's to the best interest of us, we will. But, what typically you want is a working unit there that kind of gets real consistent with who's in there. Whatever makes us the best. And between Coach Wilkinson and Coach Adcock, they'll figure that out. And I kind of rely on them to do that. I'll get in there and ask for them to give me some information occasionally. But as a whole, it's their job, and they're doing a good job with it.
Absolutely. A lot of penalties in these first two games, and I know you're not too pleased with that. That's 15 combined penalties in the first two games.
Yep.
Not all on the O-line, but certainly a lot as a cumulative number.
Yeah.
How do you try to clean that up? What are you doing in practice to make sure that these guys aren't going out there and getting too many flags?
Two, as I said, very hostile environments, which is what we wanted. That's the reason why you play these non-district games. You play them on the road over in Arkansas. A little bit different ruling over there with the band. You can play when the other team has the ball between the 20s, but you can't when it's inside. So the offsides is not acceptable just because it was loud. But you can understand it. But what we've done is real simple. We pump up the volume on our practice. And with the high-dollar machine we got out there with the high sound system, Coach Hill's ears even, I get tired of it every once in a while, to be honest with you. But, we pump up the volume there to help as far as keep good, being able to concentrate, understand those things while in practice, which carry over into the game. And then the other thing is just the self-discipline. We mentioned that. Like I said, we are shooting ourselves in the foot at times, and we can't do that especially we're on the offensive version of it. Playing behind the chains is the worst thing. I've acted. I like the way I'm saying it. I've acted like an OC many times in the 30-year career, and that's the hardest thing in the world to do. I mean, it's hard to get 1st and 10, second and get it in 10 yards, much less when you're putting it at 15 or you get the holding penalty or whatever it may be at a bad timing. And so we got to correct those things, and that's what we work on in practice.
We're only able to manage 54 yards through the air against Fayetteville. Was there something that they were doing in particular that made it hard to pass the ball?
Well, I think that Coach Wilkinson could answer that the best. I feel like you get on here, sometimes you're questioning the offense. It's real simple. We kind of had directed our passing routes amongst our outside receivers, okay? That's where we're going to go to work at. And they did a good job taking those guys away. Number 0 is a Cincinnati commit.
Yep.
The other young man, Long, They were long out there. They're just like they will be this upcoming week, and kids that can really play that are Division I type kids. So I don't know if we went about hindsight's always 20/20 and about attacking them right way as far as what we were doing throwing the football, and we had quite a few just little misses. So Jeremiah still played a good football game. Did not turn the ball over. Okay. We had the one turnover earlier, and outside of that, I'm thinking back. We didn't have any turnovers.
No turnovers.
And so. In those regards, it was good. But no, we need to know, and we understand that we're going to be a run-first team. I don't think there's anybody we got a trick on that, but we got to make sure we keep that back end softened up and we don't get people coming down in the box. So we've got to do a better job with that and feel like we've made a better game plan for this week in order to help us in those areas.
Well, in the wide receiver room, you did have one guy that still was able to get some numbers, and that was 4 catches, 36 yards, and a score for Peyton Lang.
Yep.
What does he do for the offense that makes him such a difference maker?
I kind of mentioned how they took away the outside wide receivers, and Peyton plays in our inside slot primarily. He does play some other areas. We move people around. We're not going to be consistent with anything and let you have a beat on us, but at the same time, he's been inside, and that's where the openings were at. So, that's where we probably should have concentrated more on, and Peyton's a fantastic athlete. Dual could do anything. We'll have him packaged up in the back end as far as on defense. He's multiple positions on offense, including quarterback. Yes, you've already seen him there. And you didn't see him the other night against Fayetteville, but you did see him against Harbor. So he's so multiple with what we do. So Peyton's just a great – you hate referring to people as chess pieces, but he's a great chess piece. He's definitely not a pawn, okay? He is he's a guy that's multiple for us and gives us a lot of options.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Hill, we're going to get into your bread and butter here in just a second. We're going to break down the defense coming up next on Inside Tiger Football, brought to you by Rib Crib.
Start your day refreshed with a delicious breakfast sandwich deal from Quick Trip. Choose from classics like the sausage, egg, and cheese croissant, the ham, egg, and cheese biscuit, or the melty bacon, egg, and cheese grilled cheese. And get ready to really wake up because it comes with
any small Red Bull of your choice, all for $5. Woo! Let's go! That's any breakfast sandwich plus a Red Bull for just $5. Yeah! QT, more than a gas station.
Bud's ready, because we're bringing all the drip and none of the drama with our new sauced and tossed Tender Bites. They're juicy, crispy, and sauced like a boss. Bite into your new obsession. Only at Slim Chickens.
Joint, Northeast Oklahoma's sports medicine experts. We are pleased to help you and the athletes in your life with a number of surgical and non-surgical options. Tulsa Bone & Joint is proud to serve as team orthopedist for local high schools such as Broken Arrow, Owasso, Sapulpa, Cascia Hall, and Bishop Kelly. Tulsa Bone & Joint, moving life forward.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib. It's time to talk defense. Dylan Rivera here with Coach Travis Hill. And first thing we got to do is we got to zero in on those final two plays of the game, or the final two scoring plays for Fayetteville. Able to get that touchdown and able to get that 2-point conversion. Walk me through those two plays and what you saw.
Well, as far as the touchdown is concerned, sprint out of the pocket, buying time. So if we did bring pressure on a fourth down to win the game situation, gets them in a mobile quarterback, get him out of the pocket. They did a good job with their play calling, which bought him the time because we covered well. We were in some man concepts, did well. Obviously, when you buy time and you're a man, somebody slips away, gets the opportunity. Ball only has to travel 10 yards to get in the end zone. So great play by their quarterback and their best receiver, number one. Names are not good for me, but they did a good job. So they converted. Frustrating because you're that far away from having the opportunity to just cancel it, win the game, walk off, feel good about it. But that did not happen. The 2-point conversion, I love it. You got to. We've lost 2 games in the last 2 years by 1 point.
Yeah.
So we got another 1 point, and it's such a game of inches. So what I'm saying is we do a great job up front. What we refer to as spilling the football play, making it bounce to the edge. And our edge guy that comes off the edge is just that far too wide to seal him up. And so he's in by less than half a yard as far as the ball crossing the goal line. So if we just fit up a little tighter, again, we can walk away, and feel good about it. But it was a learning experience. But we responded in both. They had to make plays. We didn't give them a play. Yep. And so kudos to them for making the plays when they needed it, and for us, it's a great learning experience, and just how tight ball games can be if you allow them to get to that position.
I think if we rewind and go back to regulation, final 3 minutes and 9 seconds, they were at the 6-yard line, but you guys didn't end up allowing them to score. They went for a field goal and they missed it, and they also had a holding penalty on a run into the end zone. But you've got to be pretty fired up with them being able to hold strong from that point.
When you can evaluate defenses when their backs are against the wall for a variety of reasons, and we were at that time, and we held on and held on and held on, and then made a little adjustment on our extra point field goal block, and I think that put a little pressure on him, and he pulled it to the left. So I give all the credit to the kids that are on the field and their ability to concentrate, focus, not let something small beat them. And number 2 is make the play when they need to make the play. And that was across the board, including on the field goal attempt. So very proud of them. And if coaches just, we're going to find a negative some way, right? I mean, it seems to be the way. The only thing is that if I would say the do-over and say I'd want change is our reaction to after we stopped them.
Yep.
Not necessarily maybe on the field with the defensive guys, but on the sideline, like we'd won the football game. No. Hey, we just made another play in the football game. Let's go find a way now. We got the ball back to go win this football game, not be excited that they didn't get in the end zone and we're still in control of our destiny. So I think if we could concentrate a little bit more on that, that would be the only thing that I would say is there. But I was very proud of our defense and our defensive staff of putting our kids in a good position.
Definitely. I think there's one number that you don't really pay much attention to unless it's just outrageous, right? And that number is the number of plays. Fayetteville ran 75 plays against you guys. How much does that wear down the defense throughout the game?
There's no doubt. And remember we were talking earlier, the stress test.
Yes.
We were trying to make sure they didn't get 90. Because if they could, they would. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they have in all their other games before. That's just part of what they do. They're going to tempo it regardless. Okay. I would say again defensively, we've had 2 very good defensive outings in our first 2 games, but there has been one series in each game. Okay. Harbor had an 18-play march. They had a 22-play march. We got to stop that. You say, well, because defensively, yeah, but our offense is sitting on the sideline through those long stretches too. We need them on the field to get their tempo and their plays. We want 70 snaps too. So, Dylan, it's a great stat. I feel like we did good with it, but that one series, let's just half it. Now you're back down to the 60s, okay? Yeah. That's where it should be. That's where you want it, okay? For sure. Nothing more than that. You like to have it down in the lower 50s. But so it's something of concern, and that's something we got to stop. Why are we doing that? Is that just good play by the offensive football team? Is that us making mistakes? How many first downs did we give them by making mistakes through that process? Because if it's 22 plays, that means you got a lot of first downs. You marched down the field. You didn't run that. You didn't sprint down the field.
Absolutely.
So that's our only concerns defensively is taking away that one series in each game. And what's really good about it, in neither one of those series we gave up any points. So that's good too. But we got to get those series and get rid of those things.
Definitely. Now, as far as giving up 14 points against Springdale Harbor and giving up 18 points to this Fayetteville team, I mean, you're talking about it. It's a good defense. You guys are off to a good start. You got to be pretty pleased with where you're at. But my question to you is where is the ceiling for this team?
That's the key. And that's what we got to reach. I mean, if we're good now, okay, and that's all we obtained, and we're getting ready because the offenses are going to do nothing but this as the year progresses. That's what good offensive football teams do.
Yeah.
So we got to continue to do that. We got to continue to grow and be more multiple to what we're doing. And what we're doing, Dylan, just to make it as easy as can, we've been pretty simplistic. We basically used one package on Harbor and one package all night long against Fayetteville. We've got to be able to be very multiple with our packages now. We did that on purpose. It's set up for it, just the way their offensive styles are, okay? We got to be very multiple in our packages now and be more of a disguised team because we've been really vanilla. I mean, we're not moving a lot. The few times we did bring pressures, we did really well. So those things, we're getting ready to up the tempo too. And we're not saving anything on purpose. It's just the way we kind of go about our defense, just like an offense, trying to find their identity. We're trying to make sure that we're finding our identity without beating ourselves. But it's time to up the tempo, and they're getting their challenge, and it'll be a big challenge this week.
Coach Hill's defensive MVP this week was Samaj Stanford. Had 16 total tackles, one that will be on TikTok, I'm sure, that he came in and made a big hit. But what did you like about the way he plays, and how much does he help you being at the safety position, being the eyes of your defense?
Well, he's one guy, like we talked earlier about being multiple with a good chess piece on offense.
Yes.
He's our chess piece on defense. He is such a difference maker. DB, obviously covering as far as the pass skill sets and all that, does a great job. But his ability to come downhill and basically be a DB in the box is unbelievable. How many tackles again?
16.
You say, is that good? That's a safety. I mean, it's good because I don't know this for a fact, but I bet you out of those 16, I'm going to bet that 10 of them were right at the line of scrimmage too. So that's okay. Now you say play action pass and all that. This guy can't get fooled.
Yep.
Yeah, he's really good at it. So he sniffs, for lack of better ways, he sniffs really well. He knows what's going on. So great job. And I don't want to correct you, but we did put Nate Jackson in there as a co-MVP.
Yeah.
So great job by both kids, by the whole defense, but a great job by both those kids too.
Well, that was my next question. Actually, was about Nate Jackson, and I also wanted to throw Colton Barlow in there because those guys had a couple of plays where back-to-back plays really where they came in, they made a big hit, whether it be a tackle for loss or a sack or just a hit at the line of scrimmage, really textbook tackles. How'd you feel those two guys played?
Really, really extremely well. And I'm going to give two different ends of the spectrum, hopefully get a little funny here in a little bit. But Nate is now getting so used to the 6A, the high intensity and speed of the game. Great play. He was up in the 14 tackle range too. And he's, I've never got the opportunity in high school, now at the college level we have, but to coach a 230-pound linebacker, that can move. He's a 4'6" kid, can fly, can really run. So, University of Tulsa. You guys need this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, Nate is just every week and every practice is getting better and better, and his physicality is really unique. And his ability to do that and cover and run. Very good linebacker. Colton Barlow is getting better and better. Now, we're going from white lightning. That's what the kids. This is a kid deal. Yesterday, Coach Hill said because of a certain few plays, I said I'm gonna re-nickname you for the time being, Space Ghost. But he grew so much in that game. Now, this is a wrestler for everybody that doesn't know Colton. Tough kid.
Coach's kid.
Coach's kid. Great football player. Great, unbelievable quickness and strength and tackling abilities. But he's in a new position and he's learning. And then one play you go, wow, he's figured it out. The next play you go, what did you do that for, Colton? But we love him. There ain't nothing wrong with Colton. We're not going to change it. And he continues to get better and better too. And I love the idea, and the kids kind of liked it yesterday too. And of course, anytime we can get a little team morale going and a little fun going, it's always good. So I guess I come up with, I've called other people at times, not this year, but in past, Space Coast. So came out of nowhere, and the kids loved it. So and he laughed it through too. So Colton's doing a great job for us too, no doubt about it.
Good. Well, good to hear that the positivity is there.
Oh,
and going into this Mustang game, it's a big one.
Yeah.
We'll be previewing that one here on the next segment of Inside Tiger Football, brought to you by Rib Group.
To update your kitchen, just for you. Kitchen Tune-Up will make your kitchen look and feel transformed. Let's create a kitchen that inspires and uplifts you. Kitchen Tune-Up. Update, upgrade, uplift.
NBA Tiger fans, now's the time to show your school spirit. Support your favorite school with the Broken Arrow School Pride debit card from TTCU Federal Credit Union. The only card that gives back to Broken Arrow every time you use it.
Since the program began, TTCU has donated over $350,000 to Broken Arrow Public Schools. That's a lot of support from fans just like you.
Whether you're a student, parent, or proud Tiger fan, your everyday purchases can make a difference.
With TTCU, you're not just banking, you're backing your school and local community. Join the thousands of TTCU members who are already using the Broken Arrow card.
It's super simple. Use your BA card and TTCU donates.
Thank you, TTCU, and thank you, Tiger fans. Support our school with every purchase. Go Yay!
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib. It's the last segment of the show. We're going to break down the upcoming Mustang game with head coach Travis Hill. I'm Dylan Rivera. The first question I have to ask you is that the Broncos have only played one game so far this season, so you're probably working with a little bit of tape from this summer along with that first game. How much does that make it a little more difficult to prepare for them?
It sure does. It makes it difficult. So limited film gives you limited information. So when you walk in and you look at the breakdown on the board, it's very scarce. Okay, and so you're wondering if you're getting tendencies or if those things are even needed. So it's a little tough to prepare for. But we have some insight and some their past and some of the things they've done and just the coaches that are new there and obviously so we've got a good feel for what we think we're getting prepared for. We're going to try to do as less as we can of preparing for what ifs, but at the same time, there's a few things probably that we're looking at that they haven't shown yet, but that we think that they possibly could.
Another thing that may make it difficult to prepare this week is the possibility of having either quarterback start for them, as Jaden O'Neal, who's their regular go-to starter, left the UConn game for a while with injury. Not sure on his status, so how do you prepare whether you play him or play the backup? You've got to be prepared for that, right?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's one that I'm scratching my head. No, you prepare for what you saw last week, okay? And then you use your common sense after that. So what we've done is just go pull Mustang film from last year, okay? So what are they traditional? Same OC, but with a whole different makeup when you have a Florida State committed quarterback that moved in from California. So you're doing things differently. So what are they going to potentially resort back to, those type of gigs that this guy's comfortable with, that he's done in the past? So we've kind of done that and have a little secondhand plan. But we go into this, we have a unique way of doing it. When we line down and we do our defensive practice, this is kind of clinic talk, but we run the play, and this helps us with two things: tempo, and we just say line down, line down. So from a defensive standpoint, we show one play, get the same play, put our other front in or other look in. So it helps us. So you can kind of see how we're double preparing anyway, because one of them is a bigger look than they're just two different looks. So those are just little things that we do to try to prepare for this, but it does make it more difficult. You don't know what's going to show up on Friday night for a fact, and so you got to kind of keep an open minded with it, but stay away from the what ifs.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you bring up what they did in the past, because I was going to follow up with this question. Is last year their quarterback ran the ball a lot. Now they've got a different quarterback, with O'Neal, but then also a different quarterback in the backup situation, because the guy who played quarterback last year had graduated out. So do you see them doing a lot of running the football in this upcoming game?
I mean, we're going to find out Friday night when whatever number shows up at quarterback,
yes.
Whether it be number 2 or somebody else. They've already shown tendencies again in the Wildcat concepts, okay, even with Mr. O'Neal available. So we're not going to be surprised either way. We may have to do some adjustments in the process of the game for exactly what we're seeing versus the idea that if Jaden O'Neal, is that
yes, sir.
his name? If he's not playing, then I'm going to assume, and it's an assumption, that they're going to be a lot more heavy on the run, and they are a big offensive football team with big tailbacks and big fullbacks, 245-pound fullback, 220-pound tailback. So, they can be physical, big offensive line. So, and that's kind of been their curtail in the past. So, we're ready for both and hopefully can adjust and make the few adjustments we need to, and our kids are ready to play regardless of what scenario they see.
Let's flip it over and talk about their defense. I think they've got a new defensive coordinator over there, if I'm not mistaken.
They do.
How much does that add a wrinkle into preparing for them?
It does. I mean, again, you don't have any tendencies from past and what they like to do, situational football. They are going to be in this or that. So, again, you have such a small segment to pull from. But what they've done is they've loaded up on their skill kids. And so their secondary, it's as talented as anyone around. I mean, I just talked about last week, Fayetteville, okay? 2 kids that go in Division I. These kids have bigger offers than that. And, the corners, one's 6'3", another one's 6'4.5". So long kids that can fly, that have been, they're Power 5 offers, okay? They play with a 5 across concept. We do a lot of that ourselves in some of our situational football. But they got 3 safeties that can come downhill and make plays, so they are a pain in the butt, for lack of a better way to put it. But I do think that it's good for us, and I love it that Coach Wilkinson, with all his experience and everything, has got some ideas and some concepts that to help corrective of a few of our things. And like I said, we feel very comfortable about it. But the bigger-looking defensive football team with a lot of kids, what that does to you, again, it takes away that big hitter sometimes. You don't get that home run hit, which can really get a separation in the game. And we have a lot of home run. We have some kids that can really make big-time plays on offense. So when those can be taken away from you, such as last week with Fayetteville, and this week it does cause you some concern. But like I said, we've had a week prepare for that, seen some of our potential deficiencies, and now hopefully can turn those into strengths.
Let's go with one thing on the offensive side and one thing on the defensive side that you feel that Mustang does really well that you're going to have to prepare for.
Okay. Offensively, big plays. It's big plays. I mean, they with that skill set they have out there, they're big plays. It may not be as evident this week, depending on who's playing quarterback. But I'm going to tell you, if the big boy's playing quarterback, he throws the ball. He's going to Florida State for a reason. Okay. All right, then. So big plays is what we got to stop on with our defense. Offensively, we're still find your identity and take care of the football. Again, if we don't turn over the football, we'll be in every football game and have a chance to win. So that's as big a thing as I put out there. But we want to be a little bit more productive than what we were last week. We were very productive week 1. Didn't punt the football, got after it. We need to be productive again, and we will be.
Yeah, and then on the defensive side of the ball for you all, you said you needed to slow down those big plays.
Big plays. We can't allow the big plays.
Is that something that you think you can do from the defensive line standpoint or from the defensive back standpoint?
It has to be from the
both?
Defensive back standpoint, and the reason why we were able to do that, besides one play last week that they had that was just a huge play, and that was on the drive where they missed the field goal, but they did miss it at least, okay, late in the game, was we kept everything in front of us. We tackled well, and we were able to put pressure. We got the kid uncomfortable last week. We got him off his point and throwing the football and made them do a little bit more movement and everything, which I think we did a really good job with that. So it's just, again, don't allow the big play defensively. I think we're good enough defensively if we don't get something behind us that we're going to make people earn it. And high school football, that's not always the easiest thing to do, okay, as far as an offense to go for long drives and make points. So I think if we can continue to do that, we'll continue to play great defense.
Well, it should be a great game. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. The pregame show live on Aerovision at 6:30. You'll want to tune into that. Inside Tiger Football comes to you every Thursday night on YouTube. You can find it on aerovision.tv as well. Thank you, Coach Hill, for joining me here today. Next week is the bye week, so we will not have a show of Inside Tiger Football, but you can talk to the Tigers. You can see the Tigers live on Uncaged on Wednesday evening. So we hope you'll join us at Buffalo Wild Wings for that, or tune in live on aerovision.tv or on YouTube. Until then, have a great evening, everybody.